Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you know, I'm Stephanie. Welcome to another Vlogmas video, Bookmas video. I will quickly say, I originally wanted to film the whole 24 videos. I wanted to have all the videos posted by Christmas Day, but literally the week right before Christmas, my computer completely died. The battery had been already declining for a really long time. We're talking years. And it finally died on me, and I could not film, I could not edit. But then it kind of worked out, because the final few videos that you will see before the end of 2023 are all about all my 5-star reads from 2023, all the books I read in 2023, and my physical TBR for 2024. And obviously I'm a Virgo, so I want them to be precise, and this just works out perfectly, because by the time you're seeing this, all the videos are pretty much accurate. So today we are doing all the books I gave 5 stars, and I'm really excited about it. It's not a lot. If you guys are interested in seeing what are my 5-star rates for 2023, obviously just continue to watch. Remember to like this video, comment down below which book of yours was absolutely like a 5-star that maybe it's not on my list and you would want me to read it, and subscribe for more videos. And let's get to it. If you guys watch Steph, she is kind of like my channel. She does a lot of vlogs, but as well book content, and she posted this specific website, which is called myyearinbooks.com, and it's kind of like a wrap-up, like a Spotify wrap-up, but for your book. So quickly, I just want to mention this, and I have read 64,495 pages, 109,642 minutes, which is insane. And then I saw Steph kind of convert that into days. I've been reading 76 days non-stop technically. Top categories are obviously romance. I read 160 contemporary novels and 29 young adult books. Now I find it a little bit interesting that it just specifically says romance, because this year I went into my fantasy era, like a little fun interesting thing to mention. Now we're gonna go exactly through my Goodreads, but this is also really interesting because I bought it's like a reading journal, like a reading tracker on Etsy, and oh my god, I got it for I think $4, and it's amazing because I read a lot. I read close to 200 pages, close to 200 books this year, and last year I read over 200 books, and then the year before that I think I did like 70-80 books. And it's amazing because it actually allows me to see all my 5 stars, which is just great. But I'm gonna quickly show. I'm also gonna ignore the books that were rereads, because every year I reread my favorite books of all time, and obviously it's just gonna get repetitive if I mention those. First one we have on my list, I'm pretty sure this is the first book I read in 2023, and it was amazingly a 5-star book. So this is called The Guardian and the Escort by Fiona Cole. I gave this 5 stars. I do believe it's like in a novella. This one, it's forbidden, it's taboo, and it's age gap, all my favorite things. And it's specifically Guardian Ward, which I really love. There's not a lot of romance books like them. This was really interesting. I don't think this is a part of Fiona Cole's Voyeur series. I think that's what it's called. But it's very interesting because in this one, I think her dad passes away, and the guy, he either was like her dad's business partner or dad's best friends, one of those, and she moves in with him because he takes care of her. And along the way, you see her really being like, I want to be a part of the business, and he shows her how to pretty much be a boss woman, and I really loved it. It was spicy, it was short, it was amazing. And I know a lot of people do not like reading novellas, but if I love a novella, if you could give me literally a beginning, a middle, and an end in a novella, then I'm reading it because it was amazing. Ward, my woman, I think this is also guardianship. It was just like straight to the point. Like, it was forbidden. It was like the sneaking around that we're not supposed to be together. The little pull and give was amazing. And similar to this one, I think her parents have an accident and they end up dying, so then he takes her in, and then it's their romance. And we have 3 books from the Shatter Me series. We have Destroy Me, Ignite Me, and Believe Me. Now I will say, I think if anything, Destroy Me is I'm pretty sure, a novella, and it's the novella where we first get Aaron's point of view. And I think that's how I really loved it, because I already loved him from book one, how he was just kind of like your typical self-centered asshole. But I just always end up loving those characters because I'm just like, there's much more to you, and I can't wait to get to your part, like your POV. And then we get to his point of view, and it gave everything I needed, and I loved it. So I gave it 5 stars, but realistically it's probably like a 4.5 because it is a novella and it didn't do much, at least in the series. And then the one that is truly 5 stars is Ignite Me. Ignite Me is where Aaron and Juliet are finally together. They're finally, like, we get rid of, oh my god, what's his name? I don't even remember his name. But we get rid of him, and then finally Juliet and Warner are together, and I loved every second of it. This is a dystopian series. I'm pretty sure you've heard of Shatter Me, but it was amazing. And then Believe Me, I will say the Shatter Me series is too long in my opinion. I don't think a lot of it, I feel like it got dragged out. But for that reason, I think when I got to Believe Me, I think I was just happy with the conclusion of it, so I gave it 5 stars. And then we have another fantasy romance. We have the Blood and Ash series, and I gave specifically book 1, Blood and Ash, 5 stars. It was so amazing. This was my, I guess, official dip into fantasy, because the Shatter Me was kind of, it's YA to start, and it's also dystopian. And Blood and Ash, I literally remember I didn't know much about it other than it was like a bodyguard romance. Obviously it's way more than that, but I fell in so deeply, and I loved everything about it. Like, I could not get enough. Like, I was flipping the pages, and I think I read all of them right before my Europe trip. If you guys don't know, I did 30 days in Europe. I have all the vlogs already posted, but I truly love Blood and Ash. Crown of Gilded Bones by Blood and Ash, 5 stars. I think at this point we had discovered what the series is actually about, and I loved how powerful she was becoming. Like, she truly came into the woman that she was supposed to be. And then we cannot forget my man. You guys, I first called him Castle for such a long time, and then I learned it was Castile. I don't know, but I love Castile so much. He really treats her like, you're my queen, you're everything to me, and I loved it. And then we have Wretched by Emily McIntyre. Oh my god, this was amazing. It took me by surprise. This is kind of like a reimagined story retelling of the Wizards of Oz, which ironically I've never watched. Like, the only thing I have in the Once Upon a Time series, like the show, that's all I could think about, but I need to get to that. We have Evelina, who is just this boss woman. She pretty much runs, I don't want to call it the mafia, but she has like this organization crime going on, and she is the boss. Nicholas, he's a part of the DEA, and he's undercover, and he's trying to get to the bottom of who the boss is, but he doesn't know it's a female or that it's her. And along the way he falls for her, and I loved every second about this book. It was truly amazing. And then we have First Semester by QB Tyler. I love QB Tyler. She is one of my favorite authors of all time. I have a whole video dedicated to her book. This is a short novella. I think it's less than 200 pages. It's like 180. We have Aiden and Sky, and pretty much Aiden, it's a professor-student romance, and Sky gets on like this dating app. She's just trying to hook up with someone, and they get together one night. Like, they end up meeting at a bar after like messaging each other, and then you know what happens. And the next day Sky goes to class, and guess who's her professor? It's Aiden. And it's like literally the give and pull, like, we cannot be together, but you know what, F it, I want you. And then we have Nate by Celia Aaron. Oh my god, this was amazing. I raved about this book so much to my friends, because it's amazing. So this is forbidden and also age gap, also taboo. Nate. And Nate is the capo of the mafia. And one day when they're having a mafia war, he discovers this girl, and he saves her life. Immediately, it's a guardian ward relationship, romance. And immediately, as soon as he saves her, because her parents are dead, he ships her off to boarding school. So, you know, he doesn't want to take care of a little kid, but he's just like, I cannot just leave you by yourself. So he takes care of her. Then it's years later, she comes back after she has graduated, and immediately as soon as he sees her, he's just like, oh my god, who is that? I want her. He doesn't remember what she even looked like, because he has not seen her. And immediately she's just like, hey, remember me? And it's the romance, and the mafia in here was so amazing. Black Ties and White Lies by Kat Singleton. Oh my god, this was truly amazing. This is arranged marriage. No, it's not arranged marriage. It's marriage of convenience. It's also kind of forbidden because it's his brother's ex-girlfriend. Now, this has a theme that I really love in books when the guy sees her first, but something happens. But it has never left his head that he's just like, I saw her first and I want her, and no matter what, I'm gonna make her mine. And I love that in a book. At one point, he goes up to her and he's just like, I need you for this like business thing. I don't remember exactly what he said, and I don't remember the reason why she actually agreed to the marriage of convenience. I don't know if it just has to do with her getting revenge on her ex, but they get together and it's her slowly falling for him, but he's always been there. And then this one of my favorites as well. I feel like a lot of these books are forbidden taboo, but it's like when I get to a book like that and I really love it, it's always gonna be in my heart. This is Brutal Conquest by Lilith Vincent. Oh my god, you guys, this took me by such a big surprise because it's step uncle. Her dad and him have always been close, but he's obviously adopted. And then it's years later where something happens, like he does this really stupid thing and he gets exiled from the family, and he comes up with this revenge plan, like saying like, you know what, because it is mafia, she is gonna be technically the new capo, she's gonna be taking over the mafia. And he's just like, that cannot happen, like that was supposed to be my job, but obviously I fucked it up. So he decides that he is gonna pretty much get rid of her, he's gonna get married with her, he has like a whole plan. But let's just say that's not how it ends up going, and this was truly amazing. And we have Tempted. This is another forbidden taboo book. This is by Renee Harless. This is kind of a novella. It's around, I think, 200 pages or a little bit more than 200 pages. This is Dad's best friend. It was so good. We have our hero who is in a band with her dad, and our heroine, she has just either finished college, she's going through something in her career, so she goes to this cabin that they own, and she doesn't tell her parents that she's there. And he's actually going through this issue with his hand and he cannot play the guitar, but he doesn't want to tell his friends and obviously his best friends what's going on in the band. So he decides to go to the cabin because they all own cabins right next to each other, and he bumps into her there, and it was such a great time. Like, I really love this. The Reaper by Runix. This is mafia as well. This one, it's technically book 2 in a series. Book 1 and book 2, it's the same couple, you need to read them together. The only reason I didn't give book 1 5 stars is because it isn't the third point of view, it's in third person. And book 1 was a lot of like, he's staring at me, she's staring at me, and it took me a second to even get into the third point of view. But once you get to book 2, it goes super fast and the romance was amazing. It's truly enemies to lovers, but he's very much like, I want to kill you, but I'm the only one that can kill you, like no one else can touch you. Honestly, the only thing I can say is that Tristan and Marana have been connected since kids, and I cannot say much more than that because it's spoiler. But he hates her, she hates him. At one point, Marana in book 1 thinks that Tristan had like stole her code because Marana is really smart, and she tries to kill him, and that's how the romance starts. But specifically book 2 was just amazing because Tristan is a man that truly does not, he just grunts, he doesn't talk, he doesn't nothing like that. But with her, he's in love. I gave The Emperor by Runix, which is the third book in the series, 5 stars. I really like this. It's childhood friends to lovers, but it's much more than that. It actually has a trope I really hate, but in this book it ended up working out and I liked it. But we have Dante and Amara, and Amara, she's the daughter of the help from the house, and he is the son of the couple, so he's gonna be couple one day too. Let's just say Amara bumps into information that she was not supposed to hear, and some traumatic things end up happening to her, and Dante has always felt responsible for what happened to her, so he ends up kind of forming this friendship with her, and then over the years you see them slowly fall in love, and it's the romance. We have the Annihilator. Oh my god, this is book 5 from the same series, from the Dark Verse series by Runex. This is the one you need to read. This is a series you need to read in order, because they kind of follows, it's like a found family, it kind of follows the same people, and the plot is going through each book. But I truly came to the conclusion that you could read book 5, The Annihilator, by itself, just because the story is completely separate from the other books. Yes, for the enjoyment, it would be best you read all the books in the series, but technically I would say you could read it as a standalone. This, in my opinion, is better than Haunting and Hunting Adeline. I've said this a million times already, just because if you know what Haunting and Hunting Adeline is, this is the exact same thing, except in this book you do not see the graphic details. I think you only hear about it once, or you might see it once, but other than that, I loved it. This man saved her from sex trafficking, and he does so much for her. Like, he just gives her all the things she needs to heal and to find out who she is in the outside, in the world, in the real world. And it was amazing. And there's some books that I have here that apparently I gave 5 stars, but now where I'm at now compared to when I read the book, it feels like more like of a 4.5. I don't know if I even want to mention it. The book we have is Merciless Saint by Michelle Hurd. Oh my god, I ate this up. Damien and Winter. Oh my god. Okay, so this is pretty much a mafia school, and Damien, he's on the way to graduate. He's literally about to graduate within like a week or 2 weeks. And we have Winter, who is the daughter of like someone in the mafia, and she goes there. It's her freshman year. Immediately people are trying to fuck with her, and he does not like her. He's just like, stay out of my way. But when people start to fuck with her, he cannot help himself and get in the middle of it and protect her. Now, when you're at this mafia school and you're graduating, people could contract you to either kill or do other things in the mafia. And on his graduation, her father ends up contracting him to protect her, and then it's kind of a bodyguard romance, and then it ends up being a freaking arranged marriage of convenience, because along the way, as he's protecting her, he kind of sees this opportunity, and it's their marriage. And then we have The Bully. This is by Sophie Lark. It's also a mafia school. We have Dean and Kat. Now, Dean in this series, he has been portrayed as the evil one. I always like Dean, just putting it out there, but Dean ends up seeing Kat do something, and he's just like, I'm gonna hold this over you, and you're gonna be pretty much my slave. I'm gonna tell you what to do, and you have to do it. And she does it because she does not want people to find out what she did. But along the way, they fall in love, and it was truly amazing. And then we have these 3 books from the same series. We have Hidden Truths by Nevia. This is Sergi and Angelina's story. Oh my god, this was amazing. Sergi is literally the man in the mafia that, because this is the Russian mafia, so he is brothers with the Pecan. And even like the Pecan tells all his workers, like, when Sergi is in a bad mood, when he's having an episode, stay away from him, because this guy is truly crazy. Like, he does not give a fuck, and he could kill you. Now, the thing that's really interesting is that Sergi had something to do with the government took him as a kid, and they like made him into an assassin, like a trained assassin. So this man has like PTSD. He has a bunch of things going on. And Angelina is actually from the Mexican cartel, and she's about to get an arranged marriage with this really effed up man. And her nana is just like, you're not gonna marry this man. So she helps her escape, and she ends up shipping her off to Chicago, where the Russian mafia is. And Sergi bumps into her, and immediately as soon as he sees her, he's just like, I'll protect you. And then we have Ruined Secrets. This one was amazing as well. It's age gap. We have Luca and Isabella. And Isabella, they're both from the Italian mafia. And Luca, he is bound to be the next couple in the Italian mafia. Bella is the granddaughter of the actual couple. Now, here's what's interesting. is that Isabella has always grown up having this crush on this man because he's always been around all the time. But he's married and he also has a kid. So what does the grandpa do? He literally arranges for Luca to find out that his wife is cheating on him. And then he arranges and he makes an arranged marriage between his granddaughter and him, and it's just love story. Now I will say immediately Luca was just like, I've known you my whole life, like no, it's never gonna happen, we'll have this arranged marriage, that's it. But then he gets amnesia and everything changes. Stolen touches. This, I think this one might be my favorite if I'm being honest. We have Salvatore, and we have Meline. Now Meline is from, I'm pretty sure she's from the Russian mafia. And Salvatore, he's from the Italian mafia, but he's the Italian mafia in New York City. And Meline hates the mafia. She wants nothing to do with this. So what does she do? She's in Chicago and she decides to run to New York City and become a nurse. She's doing her nurse stuff, you know. And then she bumps into Salvatore. And immediately they hit it off. And Salvatore wants to be with her. But then, literally, as they're on a date, shotguns are thrown at him. And she finds out what he is. And she's just like, I want nothing to do with you. So what does this man do? He calls Chicago and he's like, I just found someone from the Russian mafia in my territory, and no one told me anything about this. And immediately the Russian mafia is just like, we did not know, we're sorry, what can we do? And he's just like, give me an arranged marriage with this girl. I loved it. This one is The Wrong Hearts by Jennifer Hartman. I gave this 5 stars. So we have our heroine and our hero. Our heroine's husband has just passed away and she is just devastated. So she gets actually from the nurse the new person that has her husband's heart, and she's like starts to text him and they form this connection. At the same time, I think she's going to like a grieving rehab. She's going to something, and he's also going there for other reasons of his own personal thing. And ironically, they're texting each other, and I think he figures out that it's actually her, but she doesn't know that she's been texting this guy, and it's their romance. And it was honestly just a true felt story, and I really loved it. And then we have Gotta Ruin by Rena Kent. You know, this had to be on my list. I love Rena Kent so much. She is one of my favorite authors of all time. This is dark romance. A lot of these books in the series are pretty much similar but a little bit different. This is rival schools getting together. It's a bully romance. It's dark romance. We have Landon and Mia. And Landon and Mia have always, mainly Mia has always hated Landon, and Landon has always been like, hey Mouse, because he gives her a nickname from the moment he saw her. And it's so cute. It's a psychopath. He's a psychopath, and she is a selective mute. The things this man would do for this girl, that's all I gotta say. Taken by a Sinner by Michelle Hurd. This is my favorite 2 things, Forbidden and Mafia. It's Steps of Evelyn's and Tessa and Nicholas. And pretty much Tessa's mom gets married to the Greek couple of the Mafia. I think I said that weird. But Tessa immediately, as soon as she meets her new stepbrother, they hate each other. Like, they truly freaking hate each other. So what does Nicholas decide to do? He decides that he's gonna arrange a marriage for her so he could get rid of her because he hates her. But along the way, as he's setting up potential husbands for her, he gets jealous, and then it's their romance, and it was so good. Desires by Rory Ireland and Tate Monroe. This is also like a novella. It's short. I want to say it's like 200 something pages. This is Step Uncle as well. We have Silas and Zoe. And Silas's brother calls him up and he's just like, you know what, Zoe just broke up with her ex-boyfriend. She needs a place to live. Can she stay with you? And Silas is just like, I guess she could come over. And then she comes over and it's their romance. Like, they did not expect it, but it happens. And the parents in here were truly terrible. Like, the things that I read in this book were just like, it was comedy. This list, we have The Worst Kept Secret by Kiwi Tyler. I really love this book. I gave it 5 stars, but it's more like a 4.7. Like, it was just really enjoyable. This is my best friend's dad. It's also her neighbor. It's age gap. It's forbidden. We have Theo and Avery, and Avery has always had like a crush for Theo, and I think she just graduated college and she decides to move back home, and they start a relationship, and it's so much sneaking around. That's all I can say. Sneaking around, forbidden. I loved it. We have A Court of Mist and Fury. This is the second book in Akatar. I cannot really say too much because I feel like it's spoiler. All you need to know is that they're fated mates. They're literally soulmates. And then we have Misconduct. This is by Penelope Douglas. I raved about this book so much. It was amazing. It felt like I was watching a movie. We have Tyler and Easton. And Tyler and Easton meet at this party. And immediately they hit it off. But they get interrupted. And Easton, literally Tyler tells Easton, the next time I see you, you're gonna be mine. It's 6 months later, and they bump into each other at a teacher-student conference because she is now the teacher of his 14-year-old son. And not only is it forbidden because of that, but also because he is running to be a senator. And then now the last book we have is Butcher and Blackbird. This is really dark romance, but it's also a comedy. We have two serial killers who bump into each other. They become best friends. They have a little competition. They have a little competition going of who could kill a certain person first. And it's all really bad people. It's like pedophiles. It's people. It's just wrong people. That's who their target is. And along the way, it's a slow burn romance because they fall in love. But it was amazing. I had the best time. As I mentioned, this is in my dark romance reading vlog, but I really loved it. Okay, I'm editing right now, and I forgot to mention this book, which... What? This is The Ritual by Chantal Tessier. It's a whole series. Technically, you can read them all as standalones. I will say, I only love this book out of all the books. The other books that have been out are not my favorite. Like, overall, they were good, but if one little thing was tweaked about each book, I would have liked it. Point is, we have Riot and Blakely, and Blakely is actually dating another guy who is in the secret society. In this secret society, you get a chosen girl. So during your duration of college, you are not supposed to be with any girls. Like, you're supposed to dedicate all your entire time to the secret society. So Riot is doing that. He loves the secret society, and this secret society, it's literally about... You could become a president, you could become a senator, you could become an actor. Like, it's truly like that. So you got a chosen one by the end of your college year, so like your senior year. And she is either supposed to help you do something, or she is gonna end up becoming like an arranged marriage type of thing. And Riot ends up getting Blakely, and Blakely is just like, what? And along the way, Riot falls for her when originally he was just like, I guess the secret society is telling me to date her for whatever reason. I guess I'll do it. But he falls for her. And that completes all the books I give him 5 stars. Honestly, it wasn't many. I know this video is maybe not that short, but it wasn't many. When I think about it, I'm just like, I read close to 190 books. And I only have like maybe 12 books that are 5 stars. Like, what happened? This year honestly was not the best for reading. Like, I read so many books and I was just like, that's it. It is what it is. I feel like if anything, this year I had a lot of more 4.5 romances than 5 stars, but that's okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like this video, comment down below if any of these books were on your list, and subscribe for more videos, and until next time.